Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Steve Jobs emphasized the importance of living life on your own terms. Many people fall into the trap of fulfilling societal expectations, following conventional career paths, or trying to meet the expectations of their families. But in reality, life is short, and time is the most precious resource. Jobs himself dropped out of college, took unconventional paths, and pursued what truly excited him. If he had followed a traditional route, Apple might never have existed. The message here is clear. Don't waste your life trying to be someone you're not. If you have dreams, chase them. If you have passions, explore them. Jobs urges us to stop seeking external validation and instead listen to our inner voice. Every second spent trying to be someone else is a second taken away from living our own truth. The sooner we realize this, the sooner we can start making meaningful decisions. The people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. This quote reflects the mindset of innovators and disruptors. Many of the greatest inventions and breakthroughs in history came from individuals who dared to challenge the status quo. When Steve Jobs co-founded Apple, personal computers were seen as unnecessary for regular people. But he believed that they could change the world, and they did. This quote encourages people to dream big. If you want to create something revolutionary, you must be willing to think differently. Society often ridicules bold thinkers at first, but over time, their ideas shape the future. Whether you want to start a business, create art, or build something new, you must embrace the crazy belief that your vision can change the world. Innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower. Steve Jobs was obsessed with innovation. He didn't just want to make products, he wanted to make them better and different from anything that existed before. This mindset turned Apple into one of the most innovative companies in the world. A leader is someone who brings new ideas to the table. A follower, on the other hand, is someone who simply copies what already exists. If you want to be successful, you must embrace innovation in whatever you do. Whether you are an entrepreneur, an artist, or a professional in any field, constantly seek to improve and reinvent. The moment you stop innovating, you stop leading. I'm convinced that about half of what separates the successful entrepreneurs from the non-successful ones is pure perseverance. Success isn't just about talent or intelligence, it's about perseverance. Many people give up when they face obstacles, but true entrepreneurs keep going despite failures, rejections, and hardships. Steve Jobs himself was fired from Apple, the very company he founded, but he didn't let that stop him. Instead of giving up, he used the setback as a stepping stone. He founded Next and Pixar, both of which became successful. Eventually, Apple brought him back, and he turned it into one of the most valuable companies in history. This quote teaches us that setbacks are part of the journey. The difference between success and failure is often the ability to keep going, even when things look bleak. No matter what field you are in, perseverance is the key to long-term success. Quality is more important than quantity. One home run is much better than 2 doubles. Steve Jobs was known for his obsession with perfection. He didn't believe in creating a large number of mediocre products. He focused on making a few excellent ones. This philosophy was evident in Apple's approach. Rather than flooding the market with dozens of products, they perfected a handful, such as the iPhone, MacBook, iPad, and iPod. This lesson applies to all aspects of life. Whether you're building a business, creating content, or pursuing a craft, always prioritize quality over quantity. Instead of trying to do everything, focus on doing a few things exceptionally well. When you create something truly remarkable, it will have a lasting impact. Remembering that you are going to die is the best way I know to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose. This quote is both profound and motivating. Many people hesitate to take risks because they fear failure, rejection, or embarrassment. But when you remember that life is temporary, these fears become meaningless. Jobs famously gave a speech at Stanford University in which he talked about his brush with death. He was diagnosed with cancer, and this realization made him more fearless in pursuing his goals. Instead of worrying about small setbacks, he focused on what truly mattered. This is a powerful reminder that we should live boldly and fearlessly. Whether it's starting a business, pursuing a passion, or taking a risk, we should act as if we have nothing to lose, because in the end, we really don't. Be a yardstick of quality. Some people aren't used to an environment where excellence is expected. Steve Jobs set incredibly high standards, not just for himself, but for everyone around him. He believed that great companies and great people should always strive for excellence, even when others accept mediocrity. Many workplaces and industries settle for good enough, but Jobs encouraged people to push beyond that. If you want to stand out, you must set higher expectations for yourself and your work. Even if others are okay with being average, you shouldn't be. Excellence attracts success, respect, and long-term impact. The only way to do great work is to love what you do. Passion fuels greatness. Steve Jobs believed that if you don't love what you do, you won't have the energy or dedication to push through difficult times. Jobs loved design, technology, and innovation. His passion drove him to create revolutionary products. He didn't just work for money, he worked to make something meaningful. This quote reminds us that we should pursue careers and projects that excite us. If you love what you do, work won't feel like a burden. It will feel like a mission. And when you're passionate, you'll naturally put in the effort needed to achieve greatness. Stay hungry, stay foolish. This was Steve Jobs' famous closing line from his Stanford speech. Stay hungry means always striving for more, never becoming complacent. Stay foolish means taking risks, thinking differently, and embracing unconventional ideas. Many people settle once they achieve a certain level of success, but Jobs believed in constant learning and growth. The world changes fast, and those who stop innovating get left behind. By staying hungry for knowledge and foolish enough to try new things, you keep evolving. This quote is a call to action. Keep pushing, keep learning, and never be afraid to take bold risks. Have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Many people struggle with decision-making, often feeling torn between logic and intuition. Society conditions us to take the safe route, choosing careers that are stable rather than ones that ignite passion. But Steve Jobs believed that deep down, we already know what we are meant to do. Jobs himself faced this dilemma. He initially enrolled in college but felt disconnected from his coursework. Instead of forcing himself through something that didn't inspire him, he took a leap of faith and dropped out. He then spent time exploring subjects that fascinated him, like calligraphy. At the time, it seemed like a pointless decision, but years later, that very knowledge influenced the elegant typography used in Mac computers. This story shows that when we trust our instincts, things often come full circle in ways we never expect. Many successful people have had moments where they followed their gut, even when it didn't make sense at the time. Had Jobs ignored his intuition and stayed on a conventional path, Apple as we know it might never have existed. This quote teaches us to listen to our inner voice, even when it contradicts logic or external expectations. If you have a strong passion for something, don't silence it. The things you are drawn to are not random. They are guiding you toward your true potential. Design is not just what it looks like and feels like. Design is how it works. At first glance, this quote seems to be about technology and aesthetics, but its meaning runs much deeper. Steve Jobs revolutionized the tech industry by emphasizing that design isn't just about appearance, it's about experience. Before Apple, most computers and gadgets were clunky and unattractive. Many companies focused on functionality alone, ignoring the importance of design. Jobs, however, believed that design should be seamless and intuitive. It's not enough for a product to look good. It must also function in a way that feels natural and effortless for the user. Take the iPhone, for example. Before its launch, smartphones had complicated keyboards and confusing interfaces. Jobs envisioned a touchscreen experience that anyone could use effortlessly. The result? A beautifully designed device that also functioned in the most user-friendly way possible. This principle applies to everything in life. Whether you're a business owner, artist, content creator, or entrepreneur, you should always think about user experience. If you're creating a product, service, or even a YouTube channel, it's not just about making it visually appealing. It should also be engaging, easy to understand, and functional. I want to put a ding in the universe. This is one of Steve Jobs' most famous and inspirational quotes. It captures his grand vision. He didn't just want to create products, he wanted to change the world. Most people live their lives without making a significant impact. They follow routines, play it safe, and settle for small goals. But Jobs had a different mindset. He didn't just want to participate in the world. He wanted to leave a mark that would be remembered long after he was gone. And he did. The Macintosh, iPhone, iPad, iTunes, and App Store all transformed their respective industries. Apple wasn't just another tech company. It became a brand that shaped the way we communicate, work, and interact with technology. The message here is powerful. Don't settle for being average. Whether you're an entrepreneur, artist, or YouTuber, aim to create something that truly makes an impact. Even if your ding in the universe seems small at first, every great movement starts with a single step. It's not about money. It's about the people you have and how you're led. Many businesses fail because they focus only on profits and neglect people. But Steve Jobs understood that a company is only as strong as its team. When Jobs returned to Apple in 1997, the company was struggling. But instead of just cutting costs or focusing on sales, he rebuilt Apple's team, bringing in the right engineers, designers, and thinkers who shared his vision. This led to iconic innovations like the iPod, iPhone, and iPad. The lesson here is crucial. If you surround yourself with the right people, success will follow. This applies to business, relationships, and personal growth. Whether you're building a company, a YouTube channel, or a creative project, your team and leadership will define your success more than money ever will. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. We live in a world filled with opinions. Everyone, from family, friends, social media, and society, has an opinion on what we should do. If you listen to them too much, you risk losing your own voice. Jobs was heavily criticized throughout his career. When he introduced the iPhone, many tech experts said it wouldn't work because it lacked a keyboard. When he launched the iPad, critics called it just a big iPhone, but he ignored the noise and followed his vision. Today, those same products dominate the industry. This is a lesson for all dreamers and creators. If you have a vision, protect it. People will doubt you, question you, and even mock you. But the only way to do something great is to trust yourself and keep going. Great things in business are never done by one person. They're done by a team of people. Even though Steve Jobs was the face of Apple, he didn't build it alone. Behind every great company, movie, or innovation, there's always a team of people working together. In today's world, many people glorify the lone genius. But in reality, success is almost always a team effort. Jobs worked alongside visionaries like Steve Wozniak, Jony Ive, and Tim Cook. Together, they turned Apple into the global powerhouse it is today. This applies to any field. Whether you're building a business, a YouTube channel, or a creative career, you need the right people to succeed.